Hi, I'm BJ, and this is the Arcane Alienist Podcast. Okay, we're back again. Now we're up to day 5 and 6 of RPG A Day 2023. Let's see, what do we got here? Um, Day 5, the oldest game you've played. The oldest game I've played, does that mean role playing game or anything? I mean, what the oldest game I've ever played? Tag, um, hide and seek. Uh, the oldest tabletop game. Well, I guess if board games are technically a tabletop game, it would probably be chess or backgammon. But no, I'm pretty sure we're talking about role playing games here. So the oldest role playing game I've played has got to be depends on what you consider retro clones to be. Um, you know what? No, I would say no. The oldest game I've actually played is basic D&D. Uh, Good old fashioned Molde basic D&D. That's the oldest game I've played. Because I don't, you know what? I guess it'd be 1E D&D actually. I played that a little bit right before I got into D&D right before the 2E switch, so I really cut my teeth on 2E. But I did play a little bit of 1E before that. Um, so it would be one. I guess 1E precedes the that would have been a contemporary. Really come out when the Holmes Basic did so. So it would be 1E, and then Molde would be the second oldest. I was going to say what do retrocons count, because I was going to say Swords and Wizardry White Box, which in its initial version was White Box original 1974 D&D, but it did have a couple of we did play with the alternate saving throw uniform, single saving throw rules, so it doesn't really count as basic D&D or not original D&D. So yeah, the oldest game I've played for in terms of role playing games would be in fact 1E D&D. Number 6, day 6, the favorite game you never get to play. Favorite game I never get to play. Um, I don't know, man. The last couple of years, I've played a lot, probably more different games than than I've ever really had. It's been kind of a nice uh, the last few years as I've sort of made more friends through podcasting and kind of reaching out and meeting people online. I've gotten to play in more different types of role playing games than 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 I would have before. So my favorite game I never get to play. Never get to play. I'm looking over at my shelf to see what's sitting on the shelf that hasn't been brought off the shelf for some time. I get to play Traveler. I get to play D&D. Um, One I would really like to play um, a little more of is probably Dungeon Crawl Classics, but I'm sure that'll come back around sooner or later. Um, and then one I really like is the the original, not the original, the second edition of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, um, which I would be down to play that, or Zweihander. I have Zweihander, the sort of retooled version of it. Um, that I would like to play, or heck, even the current even the current uh, iteration of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I think I'd like to check that out. But the favorite game I never get to play of all the ones I've sort of loved and always wanted to come back to, I think it's probably just the good old kind of second edition um, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. So yeah, that's you know what? Check that. Probably one I've enjoyed more that I never get to play anymore is the Fantasy Flight version of Star Wars. I really enjoy that game. It's a little the dice to me get a little convoluted at times, trying to sort of vary up sort of what happens when the force kind of causes good and bad things to happen to you in addition to the actual basic outcome of your actions. But that's another game I would really like to play more of. I've ran it, but I've never actually played in it as a player. Of course, if you get into guys like me that you never get to play, well, a lot of them I never get to play because so often I am the DM, or the game master. But anyway, that's it for 5 and 6. So thanks for listening, and I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for listening to the Arcane Alienist podcast. The music you're hearing is Come and Get It by Scott Holmes Music. The cover art is by Dave Bone. Be sure to check out his stuff at ironseer.com. You can leave me a message. I have my SpeakPipe account linked to the show description. You can also send me an email at arcane.alienist@gmail.com. Just embed a voice memo, or I'll just read the text to your email during a future episode. Once again, thanks so much for listening.